Good afternoon to all. Today we try to discuss about a new topic. Already we have discussed about the emergence of political sociology, nature and scope of political sociology. Already we are discussed in the last classes. In this class, we try to discuss about the approaches to the study of political sociology. There are popularly the three main approaches we are studying in the uh, political sociology. Number one is the behavioral approach, second is the systems approach, third is the input and output approach. See, our subject is entirely move around the society. We are already discussed in the last class. In this class, we try to discuss about the approaches. These three approaches we are founding in our subject with effective manner. Uh, Let us discuss the approaches to the study of the uh, political sociology. Before we start the topic, I once again request all the students to take care about the COVID-19 and use the mask and take care about your health and give some guidance to the uh, common man and poor people, give some assistance to them to protect from the COVID-19. So, in this thing, we discuss the approaches to the study of political sociology. First, we discuss the approaches. First one is the behavioral approach, and second one is the systems approach. Third one is the input-output analysis. The study of the political sociology can be undertaken. The methods following are the leading approaches to the political sociology. The behavioral approach, systems analysis, the input and output analysis. First, we try to discuss in detail about the behavioral approach. The behavioral approach is based on stemming from the behavior. Behavior or behavioristic approach implies an approach from the standpoint of behaviorism, philosophy or view of the ism of behavior. That means, in simply stated, we are discussing about the behavior of the leaders. You observe the behavior of the people. You observe the behavior of your friends. So, actually, this is the natural science concept. Bertrand Fee first time observed the behavioral approach. Generally, it was started in the biological sciences. Later, it was shifted to psychology, and later it was shifted to other subjects. After Second World War, our American political scientists apply the behavior approach to the political science and particularly political sociology. In this approach, we are thoroughly observe the behavior of the leaders. You take one example, you observe the behavior in several ways of our leaders. The term in wider sense, we are observing the term of the behavior in a wider sense, comprehensive sense, to include a behavior or activities or things displayed are done by human beings, whether individually or in groups. You are observe the individual behavior or you are observe the group's behavior. Then this is possible in the behavioral approach. And this approach is a psychological in origin. I am already stated this approach is origin from psychology. It has to various other social sciences as history, economics, political science, sociology, and political sociology. So, from of view, the behavioral approach arose in the 20th century at the word of First World War in United States. J.B. Watson is treated as the father of the behavioral approach. So this concept was came into being in the 20th century, and in United Nations, J.B. Watson is treated as the founder of the behavioral approach. Generally, the origin of this approach in political sociology, he expressed his view about this approach in two of his books. That is, number one is Psychology from Standpoint of Behaviorist and Behaviorist. In these two books are very much influenced the origin of this approach in political sociology. Psychology from the standpoint of behaviorist and behavior. The scholars like Keith Arkondik and B.F. Skinner have done a good deal of work on the problem of learning. Skinner's view have been debated extensively. One of the leading contributions of Skinner is the science and human behavior. Talcott Parsons and Edward Skill's contributions have relevance in the context of the behavioral approach. A. McEver has been one of the notable writers who have opposed the behavioral approach. There has been another vital source of the behavioral approach. This has been in the Soviet Union. Lenin was seen having some signs or a body of rules which could assist the planners or the leaders in influencing and determining the behavior of the Soviet Union. Lenin stated clearly a set of rules definitely influence the behavior of the people. A set of rules definitely influencing the planners to gain their goals. So, according to Lenin, a set of rules influence the people and the leaders. At the same time, Pavlov experiments and work are said to have been valuable from this standpoint. If you are the student of sociology, everybody knows about the Pavlov experiments. These Pavlov experiments were work are said to have a valuable from the standpoint of Pavlov experiments. What is Pavlov experiment? We are observing the Pavlov experiments and the uh, dog. See, in the before giving food to the dog, first they are switch on the bell. Every day before giving food, they are switch on the bell. If the bell was ringing the bell, the dog behavior is changed. This is everybody knows about the Pavlov experiments. The Pavlov experiments is the one of the source of the study of the behavioral approach. The Pavlov experiments and work are said to have been valuable from the standpoint. So Pavlov experiments is one of the important aspects. The change the behavior of the animal they are studied. At the same way, we are observing the behavioral approach is a particular approach to study the human behavior. Because the advocates of this approach do not dispute or deny the existence of mind. What they say is that they do not wish to study mind. They would rather concentrate on behavior is observable, seeable, hearable, and touchable, and so on. As a student of politics, you know the behavior of the leaders, you know the voting behavior of the voters. They would rather concentrate on behavior which is observable, seeable, and hearable, and touchable, and so on. You take the behavior of the leaders in the panchayati meetings. You observe the behavior of the leaders. In the assembly sessions, how the party leaders how the leaders are talking, what is their mannerisms, and what is their body language, what is their behavior. You are hearable, observable, and see. In the caste panchayats, in the villages, we are founding the behavior of the elders. In international conferences, we are observing the behavior of the leaders. So, as a student of political science and political sociology, we are concentrate on the behavior of the leaders and the people. So, behavioralism is observable, seeable, hearable, and touchable, and so on. It has been felt by the students of history, of psychology, that in the evolution and changing roles of the psychology, the later, the first lost its soul, then it lost its conscience, and finally, the behaviorist lost its mind out. It has been felt by the students of history of psychology that the evolution and changing roles of the psychology, the later first lost its soul, then it lost its conscience, and finally, with the behaviorist, it lost its mind out. This implies that the psychology first was confined around the problem of the soul, and then soul was dropped and it uh, create to be the studied around the problem of the consciences. Then the problem of mind, the behavior is, however, mind is also dropped, and as far as they are concerned, psychology has come to be reduced to being sincere of behavior, science of behavior. The advocates of the behavioral approach emphasize the study of the human behavior. This is because of the reason that the human behavior is very easy to study than the human mind. I am told number of times human behavior is very easy to understand, but human mind is very difficult to understand. A number of times I told the example in your class. I am entered to the class. You are uh, give honor to me. Uh, just stand and honor to you. But it is a mechanical standing or a artificial standing or really your behavior uh, indicates the honor. That means human behavior is very easier to understand, but the human mind is very difficult to understand. In case of human mind, we have to face various uncertainties or controversies regarding existence and nature of the human mind. The various assignments prepared in the behavioral approach, through those means we come to know whether or not the Parsi community is declining in the number. See, the behavior of the Parsi community uh, number is declined. The Parsi community is declining in the number. The Agarwala young man, is some examples of the change in the behavior of some communities. The Agarwala young men are prepared to have intercaste marriages. The good olden days, the marriage is a very sacred concept. There is no intercaste marriages. The Agarwala people of Gujarat is very traditional. But the young men of the Agarwala families, young men, are prepared to have intercaste marriages. It is a great change in the behavior of the uh, particular communities. The Brahmins of Gujarat are prepared to enter the subcaste reconciliation. The Brahmin community is a pious community. a supreme community. They are not conduct the subcaste marriages. But recently, the Brahmins of Gujarat are prepared to enter the subcaste reconciliation. The old people in Kerala are switching on the chapatis from the rice. The traditional old Kerala people only eating the rice, but nowadays they are shifted to eat switching on the chapatis from the rice. This is the change of the behavior of the Kerala. And the Jains from Maharashtra are increasingly sticking to non-vegetarian diet. The housewives in UP have agree of the resistance to the use of the dalda instead of traditionally used accustomed ghee. This is a very interesting. The Jains from Maharashtra are increasingly sticking the non-vegetarian diet. The housewives in UP have agree of the resistance to the use of the dalda instead of the traditionally accustomed ghee. The rapid means of communication and the computer in particular have given a phenomenal scale to the knowledge of the various rules, activities of man in the various uh, socio-political context. In the socio-political context, we are finding tremendous changes in the behavior of the some communities and some castes and some religions. Thus, the behavioral approach has been great help and significance for the development of the political social. There can be a serious limitations. There is some limitations are there. This behavioral approach, limitation of the approach lies commission or exclusion of the human mind from the activity or behavior. Whenever we want to find out of the cordial relations between the various situations, the behavioral approach alone is not the sufficient because mind of man is the most powerful thing regarding man occupied to shape or change the course of human history. And it omitted that the mind is difficult to study or that behavior easy to study, but the point remains that you cannot have a genuine, reliable study of the human affairs if you keep mind out of the picture. Because in the student teacher relations, in that concept we are observing, the student behavior is very obedient. Showing the obedient really or not. So we are saying, we are observing the people's behavior, no doubt at all. Human behavior is very easy to understand, but human mind is not easy to understand. It is very difficult task. Human behavior is not an expression of human mind. Don't forget, human behavior is not an expression of human mind. This is the fact. So, because A and B talks about the X in the option. In the present, they praise the X. So, they are showing obedience, politeness, so on so forth. So, we are the student of the political sociology. You kept in mind one point is human behavior is very easy to understand and the human mind is very difficult to understand. Human behavior is not an expression of human mind. This is kept in your mind. In the field of various social and political instances, when the ideas are and principles are given, when the constitutions or institutions are designed, when the nominations are filled or elections are the human mind is the source of beginning all these things and actions. So this is the brief description about the behavioral approach. This is a very, very brief description about the behavioral approach. In brief, I am saying to conclude the behavioral approach, this is actually is a biological science concept. It was shifted from the biological science to psychology, psychology to political science, economics, and other social sciences. Recently, we are applying, after Second World War, we are applying the behavioral approach in the political social. Already, you are a student of the modern political analysis. We are thoroughly discussed about the behavioral approach and the post-behavioral concepts and all these things we have already learned, I think. So, in our subject, as a student of political sociology, we are observing the leaders' behavior and voters' behavior and people's behavior. The behavioral approach is hearable, seeable, and touchable, and all these things. We are taken to the consideration. Now we try to discuss another approach that is called as the systems approach. What is systems analysis? The first one is the behavioral approach, and second one is the system analysis, and third one is the input output analysis. Next class, I think we discuss about the input output analysis. In the systems analysis, already we are the students of the international relations. We are discussed about the concept of the systems analysis, and you are thoroughly an experts in the Martin Kaplan systems theory. Human body is functioning under a system. A, world is totally formed as a system, and a nation is also formed as a system. We are discussed in the last semester. Here, human body is under a functioning under a system. A mission is functioning under a system. Just like that, we are applying the systems analysis to the world, to the state, and we are applying in the society. Total society as a system. In this systems analysis, we observe a detailed concept. The systems analysis. It is a new approach to the study of the politics and the political system. This approach has been influenced the development and working of other social sciences as economics, sociology, psychology, geography, etc. Systems analysis implies analysis of a particular society, situation, or a nation, taking each you take as the system. In the systems analysis, we discuss about this. We are taken to the society as a system and nation as a system. That is to say, the society, the situation of the nation is to be studied or treated as a whole system, while the speaking about its resources, strengths and weaknesses of the system. Strengths or weaknesses, functions or defects, success or failures. This approach arose after the Second World War in the political system. So, the total society as a system, the situation or the nation is to be studied or treated as a whole system, while the speaking about its resources, strength or weaknesses, functions of defects, successes or failures, etc. This approach arose after Second World. The factors responsible for the growth of the systems analysis approach. First, after the uh, war, number of nations in the world increased because of the delay of the imperialist or colonial regimes in the various parts of the world. The territorial and political map of the world come to be redrawn after the Second World War, and it came to several more nations of different sizes, religions, races, languages, leadership, and ideologies. After the Second World War, the political map of the totally redrawn. The new states are emerged, third world nations are emerged. You know the meaning of the third world nations? Those nations got the freedom after the Second World War. We are called them as the third world nations. The states are called as the third world nations. The rise of these new states or new nations required new technologies, new techniques of studying these nations in terms of policies. New nations getting sovereignty and they are recognized. These nations are recognized with the UNO and they are introducing new techniques of studying these nations in terms of policies. Nations are steps in the context of the day-to-day government policies, international law and administration, and law and administration. You know the things, legal administration is also. The old framework and equipment become an ineffective, adequate, limited to the proper study of the organizations and problems of new nations. New nations creating new policies and new mechanisms are there and introduced. The second factor, the information or communication revolution following the World War, these systems brought various ideologies such as the positivism, empiricism, and pragmatism, etc. Furthermore, these processing and handling of the data for analysis of the functioning and behavior of the human groups or institutions in different situations in the society. And third factor was the requirement of the statesmen, ministers, diplomats, planners, policymakers, and administrators for the sufficiently large data relating to the various nations of the world. The need was also for the methodologies and capabilities to understand and predict the developments in the various countries, of old and new. In particular, the leaders are the policymakers of the old, large and powerful nations such as USSR felt need of the efficient approaches and methodologies which could help them in large scale handling of the data for preparing the various nations report. And the systems analysis approach considered as a society as a whole, treating the various sections as a parts, just as a mechanical system, where a machine has a number of spare parts, a particular amount of power or capacity of tendencies of failure. The political system too is supposed to have all these, like a mission. Political system is treated as like a mission. The political systems can be big or small, strong or weak, trouble-free or troublesome, or maybe different in the other ways. Just you take one example, just as a give in a just as in a mission says, like you take the example of the car. There are the various systems within the overall system of the car. In the political system too, there are various systems inside the system. These smaller systems are called as the subsystems. The mechanical system, we are founding the subsystems. In the same way, in the political system also, we are having the subsystems. The term subsystem has meaning only in relation to a given system. What is system or what is subsystem in one context need not necessarily or so in other contexts. Apart from the question of relative nature of the system and the subsystem, we should stress the nature and value of the subsystems in relation to a given situation. Of the subsystems, some may generate power. In a mechanical system, subsystems, some may generate power, some may produce movement, some may produce abstraction, some may produce other types of performance of the work. We take the example of a motor car. Of the subsystems, some may generate power. We are underlining point. Some may generate power. Some may produce movement. Some may produce abstraction. Some may produce other types of performance in the car. I will give you one image also, the parts of the car. To take the example of a motor car, in it we have the subsystem of power in as much as we have the engine which produce the power for the car. We have another subsystem which may call the gear system in as much we have the rubber wheels, tires, tubes and the wires aiding the work of the car. We speak of the subsystem or electricity or electrical subsystem in the car in as much as there is a source of the electricity, the batteries, wires, bulbs or lamps and so on. We have also subsystem which helps controlling the speed or the movement of the car. The braking system, rear wheels and front wheels operated by an exhaust system or a mechanical system of plates or discs, etc. And so on, not just we have these various subsystems in a car, we have a number of subsystems given in a political system. We may speak of the power system as much as the people have the power. In the car, we found the power system. As the people have the power, the political parties and pressure groups which work and transfer the power from the people of the government can be compared to the gear system. Political parties and pressure groups act as the gear system. In the political system, the communication system is a subsystem comparable with the electrical system, and the army and police in this system act its brakes. So you are creating any unrest, the police give some action. That means the police act as the brake system, or a army act as a brake system in the uh, our political system. What are the merits and demerits of the systems analysis? First, we try to discuss about it. It helps us to organize, systematize our information of the various political systems. These systems helps in proceeding various trends in these systems. The trends which are undesirable can be avoided by adopting various preventive steps or the measures. And a product of the behavior of the whole class of system in the various parts of the world in the relative fashion. For deciding as to which system need to further develop or change. One of the merits of the systems analysis is that the methodologies is we are using and to be mechanized and computerized or automated, otherwise there is a possibility of the adjustment. And demerits, it is rather undesirable fascination that it can exercise on the minds of the specialists and experts or the students who wish to apply systems analysis techniques to their problems. In the new methodologies or techniques like systems analysis, this danger can be real. The danger is very real because once the experts or students are acquired or master the complex technicality of the systems analysis, they come to have vested interest in the retention or application of this method regardless of the inherent intrinsic, intrinsic merits or demerits. And this method is a capital intensive in the sense that it presupposes high per capita incomes and more of the material resources, science and technology, wealth, various services or facilities, etc. Uh, per man. But in countries like India, which is a labor intensive community where human population is in obedience, the techniques of systems analysis had only limited applicability. This finally, on account of these various considerations, we must be prepared to set aside the systems analysis whatever less relevant or useful comparison with the alternative plans, which approaches methods and available to us taking our urgent needs. Thank you, one and all. I repeat once again, you take care about the COVID and take care, use the mask. And next class, we try to discuss about the input and output analysis. Thank you, one and all. 4 minutes.